Korean skincare. We've seen the Korean dramas, K-pop culture, and all these famous celebrities who seem to have amazing skin. And to be honest with you, I started getting into Korean skincare because I got obsessed with Korean dramas, and I will always think, you know, how do they have this perfect skin? And I'm pretty sure that they're still human beings, they still break out, and they still have, you know, normal skin like us, but you do have to admit that when it comes to skincare, they seem to do a way better job than most people that I've ever seen. So I started digging into this, and I actually found some incredible information about Koreans. Koreans consider skincare as part of their daily routine. It's as important as brushing our teeth is for us. Hopefully you do brush your teeth and you consider that important as well. But for them, they need to have a consistent skincare routine in order to go on about their days. They also tend to go to the dermatologist very often, and they do facials very often as well. Now, I'm in the US, and I've always loved skincare since growing up because I grew up in Venezuela, and you know, we love taking care of our skin, so I always had the little routine that I would always follow, but for some reason, it never really helped me. Now that I've done so much research on skincare, I've realized that most of the problems that I was struggling with were because I was using products that I wasn't supposed to use, that weren't good for my skin, and also for my skin type, and I was taking unnecessary steps that now I wouldn't even take. So please take everything that I say with a grain of salt and make sure that you do your own research. I'm gonna tell you all the steps that I personally love using, and you can do them if you would like to. You can also do less, and you can do more research on your specific skin type. I personally have a mixed skin, so it's both oily and also dry sometimes. So a lot of products can work on me, which is why when I did my research, it wasn't hard to find products for my specific skin type, but I do recommend you to do your research and make sure that you know which skin type you have. Now, if you have something like acne and you expect these products to do magic in you, I highly recommend you to go to a dermatologist and see what other conditions or things you're doing in your life that could be affecting this. Me, for example, I do break out sometimes and I have some acne every now and then, but I know that it's because I can have hormonal imbalances. Also, when I'm PMSing, I get the most amount of acne, and I think it's totally normal to break out. I don't think it has anything to do with the products that I have used, and I don't expect these Korean products to fix that acne. I like to look at this skincare routine as a routine that's helping me in the long term preserve my skin, and that's something that I've noticed within only a couple months of using this routine. I've noticed that my skin does feel, I don't want to say younger, but it preserved. I noticed that I was getting very dry skin for a long time, especially because I live in Miami. We have a very humid weather, but it can also be very dry. So I was getting not only dry skin, but I will also get some little dark spots out of nowhere and freckles, and not like the cute ones, you know. So I noticed that because of all of that, I needed to start taking care of my skin. I would never use SPF like at all, and I think that not using sunscreen is like a cardinal sin right now. And at the same time, I want to use things such as toner because I thought it wasn't necessary. I would exfoliate my face a lot, which is terrible as well. Now I've finally gotten to a point where I'm happy with my skincare routine, and I'm happy to share it with you. And at the same time, I'm gonna be sharing some Q&A that I did through my Instagram. You guys asked me some questions, and I picked 3 of the best questions that I saw, and I'm excited to do this with you guys. Let's get started. First, we're gonna take care of our hair. As you can see, I have bangs, and they're about to look crazy, but we gotta take care of the hair. I do my skincare about 2 times a day now, so usually in the mornings and also at nighttime. And if I don't do this, I feel like my life is not complete. Like, I can't leave my home if I don't have my products on my face. It always makes it feel just more shiny and beautiful. And then towards the night, I literally use this as a therapy routine. Like, it helps me so much to control my stress levels, feel a little bit more relaxed, and just feel like I'm taking care of myself, which actually I am. So right now we're gonna do the nighttime routine because, as you can see, it is nighttime out here. And I also think that this is the longest routine. Some Koreans say that they do like a 12 to 15 step routine. I haven't gotten there yet. I do think that I am gonna start getting there at some point, because every time that I miss one product, I can totally see the difference. Like, for example, if I don't use my serum, I'll see the difference. I do feel like the more good products that I put on my face, the better results I'm gonna have. Also, all of these products are very clean in the sense that they don't have like alcohol, parabens, or any other toxic products and chemicals that you don't need on your face, and I think they are incredible. They do not feel bad at all. So the product number 1, I don't know how to say this, guys, I'm sorry, PYUNKANG, I think that's what it's called, and it's a deep clear cleansing balm. And one thing that Koreans are very famous for is for doing double cleansing, and I was kind of already doing this before, but there was a time when I didn't have a good cleanser like after my makeup remover. So what I would do is that I would just kind of wash it off and think that I was okay, but the more that I found out how important double cleansing is, I just can't live without it now. Also, my mirror is right here, which is why I might look that way, and I'm just getting a little red over here because that happens sometimes when I get nervous or when I'm doing videos. I'm gonna start by applying this. One thing that I will say is that even though I use these products twice a day, they're not necessarily heavy and they last a long time. So what I'm applying right now, it's an oil-based makeup remover, and I think, like I said before, it's one of the best ones. I just love how good this one is, and it feels so soft on my skin. I don't like to apply a lot on my eyes just because I still haven't gotten used to feeling this specific balm on my eyes. So I'm not gonna lie, I still use my Garnier for the eyes just because it's a little bit easier. And I was also doing research on that specific product, and it's not really bad. Like, it doesn't have as many chemicals or anything like that. So now that we have this crazy thing on our faces, we're gonna let it sit for a little bit. One thing that is very important about Korean skincare is that they do take at least 1 minute to take into effect in your face. For this one, for example, if 1 minute has passed by or even like 30 seconds, I feel good taking it off. I do like massaging my face with it so I can actually start removing it. Okay, it looks super weird. I'm gonna go and wash it off. Alright, so I have officially washed it off. As you can see, I still have some eyeliner and mascara on my face. I'm going to very gently remove it with the Garnier micellar cleansing water. I still haven't picked a specific water like this from a Korean brand that I like. So far I'm gonna deal with this one. I don't think it has any bad chemicals. All right, so we are done taking care of the makeup and removing it. And now we're going to my second favorite part, which is the actual cleanser. So this is it, Madagascar Centella Ampoule foam, which is basically a foam cleanser. I like to try with both fingers, and then I just go ahead and start using it. Make sure to always be super gentle with your face. I also like to do it on my neck. You cannot forget about the neck. And we can let it sit for a minute, and then we can remove it with water, which I'm gonna do right now. All right, so I don't know if you can see it enough right now, but this is my face completely clean. As you can see, I still have some dark spots in certain areas that I still haven't taken care of. I do plan to go to an actual dermatologist so they can recommend me something a little bit more aggressive whenever I want to take care of them. Now, the next step, which is a very, very fun step, is going to be the toner. And this toner has vitamin C, and I am obsessed with it. I do not like toners at all, and now I need them. Some people like to apply this with a pad. I personally apply it with my hand. So now that I have applied the toner, what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna start answering some questions. So I'm gonna go with the first question. And the first question is, should I be in a season of singleness? Does God want me to be single? And this is something that a lot of Christians struggle with. They don't really know when God is telling them to only focus on Him or only focus on themselves, and when they actually are supposed to go out and date. And for me, I've noticed that God does decide whenever I'm actually gonna be dating and whenever I'm gonna be in a season of singleness, but I don't like to be too closed out to the idea of meeting the right person. I am 26 now and I'm not in a rush, but I do think that my moment hopefully could come very soon. And I do like to go on dates and meet people whenever I find the right time and the right person. I don't go out on dates with just anyone, but I do like to be open to the possibility of meeting that person. And when it comes to the season of singleness, I do think that God can be a little jealous sometimes if you're just focusing on somebody else. And right now in my season, season of singleness, which I don't really like to call it like that because I think that I am gonna meet a person. But in this season where I am indeed single, I like to see it as a huge opportunity to get to know myself, get to know God, and also to embrace my life the way that it is. Right now, I'm working a lot. I am implementing so many routines in my life. It's not just a skincare routine, and those are things that in the past it would be really hard to like implement and work on, but now I have the time to do that. I don't have to be with someone at the moment and take care of them as well in a way, so I can just put all that focus in me. And when that person does come, I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna be really excited about having that nurturing side come out of me and also show some love to them and attention all the time and whenever it's needed. But as of now, I'm happy that I don't have to do that and that I still get to feel good about it. And I think that we should all see this season of singleness as a gift from God, and you're never gonna get this back, especially if you're Christian or if you have goals of just marrying someone and just focusing on that person and building a family. Like your 20s specifically and like your teenage years as well, those are years that you should use to truly focus on the things that are gonna build you into a better person. I feel like in the past, whenever I feel maybe desperate to date people, I haven't had enough healing, which is why I've been desperate in the past. So it's like now I don't feel that way. I've gone through a lot of self-work and a lot of time with God, so I don't really feel that anymore, and that's great. Now, should you be in a season of singleness or not? I think it's a conversation that you're supposed to have with God. I have prayed a lot of times whether I should be in a season of singleness or not. I pray to God and I'd be like, God, if you want me to be in a season of singleness and actually say no to everyone, like make it clear to me. And so far that hasn't happened yet. God has spoke to me that it's okay for me to continue doing the work that I'm doing for myself, and that eventually like that's gonna happen, and I don't need to know the plan ahead. I just need to know that right now I'm taken care of and I'm loved by God, so that's great. So now that we have done the toner, I personally like to use the eye cream, and this one has black tea and it's called PYUNKANG. Bear with me here, and it says that it's a time reverse eye cream, and look at the package, it's the cutest. You open it, and I still haven't gotten rid of the box. I still take it even to the gym like this, I don't care. And I like to personally just go and apply it under my eye, so with very soft taps, little taps under your eyes. I like to apply this. I also apply it on the lid. I saw a Korean woman doing this and I thought it was genius. So basically she's like massaging her face. I can't really tell you that this works, like massaging your face, but there are some people that make some good money selling courses for this, so I think it's legit. I personally love having all this cream on my face. There are some people that hate that, but that's not me. So the next step is actually going to be a mask, but I do like applying this first because I've noticed that the mask usually covers the eyes part, and I want to have just the eye cream first. All right, question time. How do you avoid comparing yourself with others online? And I've heard influencers and other people saying, I don't do this, I love myself a lot, like I don't compare myself, but I compare myself at times. Not so much anymore, but I've taken measures to not compare myself. Social media is a place that has a lot of unrealistic things. Even me, sometimes you'll see my page, and a lot of people in the past, especially when I used to promote my businesses and more of like my lifestyle, I remember that people would always message me wanting to have a life like similar like me, and I will always be struggling with something like in the background, you know, inside of me there was always something that I was trying to figure out. And even now, like I do feel so much happier, I have the joy of the Lord and I feel great. But every now and then, and I would say almost every week, I have a different issue or a different problem that I'm encountering, and I like to think that a lot of influencers and people that you see online go through the same thing. They just don't put it out there, and I don't think that I have the need to put it out there either. I don't think that, you know, even though vulnerability is important, it's not as necessary. How do you not compare yourself with others? So for me in the past, it will be anytime that I saw like Instagram models were like very like specific, perfect bodies. And I say perfect because quote unquote, a lot of that is not very realistic, and God made me in his perfect image. So I think that I'm beautiful the way I am. But I would look at other people online and be like, wow, like I don't have that body and I don't have that face, and maybe I need to change this. Or look at how they're traveling all the time. Like maybe me and my job, like it's miserable and I'm not supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be in a yacht on a Monday morning, and I've been there before. But the point is that you seeing other people online can get you to compare yourself, whether you like it or not. And anytime that I would see that the comparison was toxic, I would just mute the person that I was seeing. Now, how do you know whether it's toxic or not? You can maybe compare yourself with another person and feel motivated. Like there are certain fitness influencers that I love following, and I do compare myself with them at times, even though I should only be comparing me with myself. But sometimes I do look at those bodies and I'm like, okay, this is the type of body that I want, or something similar to this. I want to achieve some sort of goal, and I like to see it in another person. So whenever I do feel some sort of comparison that is related to motivation, I think it's a good thing to have. But whenever I look at someone and I'm like, okay, I don't like myself because they look like that, or my life sucks because it doesn't look as fun as hers, then that's when I notice that it's toxic comparison, and I immediately, I am aware of it, and I'll go and unfollow someone or mute them if it's necessary, so I don't have to continuously compare myself with them. And at the same time, like having that awareness of understanding that people won't show their worst side online, they're always gonna show the best side. And a lot of these influencers and people that you see online, they don't always have like the best lives, and I've met so many of them, and I've seen that you can have all the followers in the world and all of the beauty, and you can still be miserable inside. So I'm not telling you that you should wish for them to be miserable. I would pray for every single person to feel great, but I would say that it's not fair to yourself to set unrealistic expectations. Now, the next step is one of my favorite ones, and these are the sheet masks. Now, there are tons of products in the Korean market that seem to be awesome for this. I still haven't tried all of them, just because I noticed that I am super close to the CVS or Walgreens, and I do get these, and they say they're made in Korea. I am not an expert, so please don't take my word for it. I will link some products that I've heard from other Koreans that are actually amazing, but honestly, this one does it for me. All the effects that I want to get from a sheet mask, I get it from this one right here. This one has retinol, vitamin C, and it's called the Creme Shop. So we are going to rip it, and I am about to look insane, just so you know. Please do not get scared. Don't hit unsubscribe for this. This is me in my most vulnerable moment. I will say that I do this every single day. I only do it at nighttime though. So all the steps that I've done so far, except for the makeup remover, I do them in the morning as well. But this one I don't, just because I don't really have time. But if I had time in the morning, I would probably do this as well. But I don't think it's like extremely necessary to do it twice. But I'm pretty sure that I will get even more amazing results if I did it twice. We make sure we look crazy. If you look crazy, you're doing it right. And you can let this one sit for as long as you will like. I personally leave it for about 15 to 20 minutes max. I don't really do more than 20 minutes, just because I usually don't have a lot of time. I do this at nighttime and I just want to go to bed. And I'm gonna chill for about 15 minutes and then I'll be back. Well, I have this scary sheet mask on. I'm gonna use this wonderful massager, face massager, and I'm just gonna go ahead and start massaging my face a little bit with the sheet mask. I do this for about 30 seconds. Right now it's a little bit dry. Now it's time for me to take off the mask. Whoa, that's great. You can see how my face looks like. And once I'm here, I do like to massage it again. I know that this helps with circulation, and honestly, even if it didn't help with anything, I just like the fact that I get to massage my face on the neck as well. Last question. What is your self-care routine? And I love this question. I actually have so many things to say about this, but I'm gonna start by sharing this serum, which is not the answer to the question, but it's part of it. And this serum has vitamin C, and honestly I cannot live without this anymore. I feel like now throughout the day I do look a little bit more shiny, but it's not in an oily, nasty way. I know that Koreans tend to call this the glass skin, and I can't really say that I have glass skin just yet, and I'm not sure I'm saying it right, but I do know that this serum helps a lot with that. Oh, I totally forgot to mention that you can totally leave on the sheet mask. Your face will just absorb all the nutrients while it sleeps, and that's great. And to answer the question, which I totally forgot, I do so many things for self-care. The one thing that I would say that I always do, well, it's not one thing, it's like at least 3. So there are 3 things that I cannot live without right now in order to truly take care of myself. It's number 1, my massages. I get a massage every week. If this is not possible for you, which is totally fine, you can do it at least once a month, and I know that it makes a huge difference. I am on a journey to balance my hormones, and I'm like pretty strict about it. So when it comes to the food I eat and the things I do, they're all very related to balancing my hormones and my nervous system. And it sounds kind of crazy, and this could be a topic for another video, but it's something that is truly gonna help my body heal itself in all aspects whenever I get sick. And even if I don't get sick, the way to stay balanced and healthy in general is to have my hormones balanced. So that's why I do massages every week. Even though yes, they do feel great, I do it because I know that it's making my body be in a complete restful state and just relax, and I need to do it because I work really hard. After that, we have the sleep mask, and yes, we have another mask. This one you can actually use overnight, and I am gonna let this one sit for a little bit, the serum and everything else. So to answer the question, massages are number 1. Second, I would say the gym. More than just working out, even though working out itself is great for my hormones and my well-being, going to the cold plunge pool every single day, it truly helps me so much. And then doing the sauna and the jacuzzi on top of that, it just feels like I'm going to the spa every day. And I do this at 6 a.m. so it's not like an easy thing that I just wake up at any time of the day and I do it. No, I have to work every day. The third thing that I do, I would say it's definitely skincare. I'm gonna start applying this mask because I think it's been a good amount of time now since I started doing the skincare routine, and I think I've already mentioned it a little bit. I do feel the difference in my life overall. I feel like I'm starting to set boundaries more, even with like people, in a way where I'm actually taking care of myself. And like every night in the past, I would just go out to like everybody's birthdays. I have a lot of friends, and I would just do a bunch of different activities. And now it's like I want to come back home so I can do the skincare routine. And maybe I'm just getting old, but let me tell you that it's wonderful for me. I am pretty generous with the amount of mask or product that I put when it comes to the sleep mask, just because it is supposed to be on all night. And even if I move a little bit, I don't want to like lose part of it. I have not purchased another one just yet because I haven't needed to. Like if you see it, I don't know if you can see it, but the point is that I still have a lot of product, even though it's the product that I use the most. But yes, so skincare, working out, eating healthy. It took me a long time to actually build this routine and stay consistent with it, but I will say that is, you know, building those routines is what has actually gotten me through life, because once I'm able to fill my own cup and feel great about myself, I'm much more able to help others and do what I'm supposed to do. So this is what my face looks like with this mask on, and this is the last view you're gonna have of me today because I'm actually gonna go to bed after this. So I totally forgot, but I also put this lip balm before going to bed. This is what my face looks like. This is what my Korean skincare routine is like. I'm also gonna link some videos where I actually got access or knowledge of all of these products. So maybe the products that I'm using are not the ones for you. I am gonna say that they are amazing and they are pretty inexpensive. Like in all the products that I show you, I definitely spent less than $100. I think it was like 100, it was like 110 or so, but that's still pretty good compared to the American products. So they are very affordable, they are high quality products, and they make you look incredible. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please reach out. If you have some other issues or things or conditions in your skin that you want to deal with, definitely contact a specialist. And thank you so much for keeping me company while I do my skincare routine. Have an amazing day and come back for more videos. Goodbye.